You're listening to
Don't Take This Personally, a podcast about the business of creativity.
We are your hosts, wedding photographers, entrepreneurs, and friends, Cami Oliveria.
And Gabe Conover. Now let's get into it.
Let's get into it. And don't take it personally, whatever we're about to say.
Yes. Don't.
Don't. Do not take this personally.
Burr, 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 burr. Oh my gosh.
We are 31.
Oh man.
Oh,
31.
As a podcast, we are 31.
Okay, wait. So there's 52 weeks in a year?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep. Okay. So we're over halfway there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's already October at the time of recording this, and we started this in January.
Whoa.
I brought this to you
Launched
in
the first
December.
episode
I
in
think
January?
February was when we launched, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or March, maybe. But we started recording in February.
Wow. And here we are again in
Here
Cammy's
we
new
are
loft.
in the new loft.
Look at how fancy we look. If you're watching, we look freaking rad.
This place is really beautiful.
Here.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just staring at the back of the camera screen for a while, just like, wow.
Yeah, I got my true dream apartment here. This is really cool. I just feel so happy and inspired when I look around, you know?
As you should. As you should.
Good things are going to happen for me here.
Good things are going to happen. Okay, well, before we get into today's topic, let's check out this new review.
Oh, it's not new?
Let's check out this review that has been here.
The middle one I picked out for you.
All right, here we go. I can read the whole topic for
I
this
know.
one. Topic is worth the listen with
said
an
it?
exclamation point from Tipjar. Tipjar? Tipjar? We like it. As a wedding photographer, I totally related to this entire podcast and felt like I was part of the conversation as I listened. Relatable, fun, entertaining. I will be listening again. Big fan of them both.
Heck yeah.
We are inclusive over here.
We are. Yeah, finally, someone who like talks about us both,
Yeah,
not just being
come
obsessed
on.
with Gabe.
Oh, shut up. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's actually, if you're watching too, we can actually like not awkwardly look at each other.
I know. This is a nice setup.
This is very nice.
Yeah.
We were like shoulder to shoulder before, just trying to be like, hello.
And I'm trying to like look at each other while talking, and that was
Being
funny.
our faces so close to each other. Look at us having a conversation
I
in
know,
a grown-up
this
environment.
This is like a normal couch conversation. You're on one couch, I'm on the other. We have the hot beverages.
We do some coffee.
I wish there was alcohol in this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't right now, but maybe later.
Maybe the next one.
Yeah, totally. Well, today, Cami, what are we talking about?
We are talking about a buzz phrase.
Ooh.
It's a buzz phrase.
It is a buzz phrase.
Community over competition.
Wow. Have
We've
you
all
heard of
it?
it?
We've all heard this buzz phrase, and we just want to talk about what it means and why it matters.
Yes.
A little pep talk coming your way.
Yeah, I'm sure it can kind of, I don't know, any buzz phrase kind of sounds annoying to me. So like, hopefully we can make it less annoying.
I think
but
so.
But it also is like a really good phrase.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is. It really
It's
is.
a good buzz phrase. It's a buzz phrase for a reason.
I know, truly. So what does it mean to you?
Okay. Well, community over competition. The first thing that comes to my mind is how much we can learn from each other. I feel like it's easy to be competitive with people who are on the same track as you, doing the same thing as you. I remember this especially when I was at Starbucks and I was trying to like move up into management, because there were a few like key people that I was really competitive with and just like had kind of started around the same time as me, had was totally capable of doing the job too, and like I could totally see them in like leadership positions and stuff like that. But like I wanted it to be me, I wanted me to be the one that was first. And I think that I really lost some really good connections and some really like good opportunities to grow quicker alongside them, rather than like, trying to pin myself against them all the time and trying to be the one that was like a little bit better every single time.
That's mature of you.
Yeah. In the moment I was like, gosh, I can't stand these people.
Yeah.
Like, literally. And it just, looking back, I just like, I realized how big of an opportunity I had missed at that time. And like, now going forward with this, you know, photography community, which people always ask me about it. And the one thing that I always say about the photography community is that it's so big, but it's so small. So it's, you know, I know all of the photographers in San Diego for the most part. And like, I know all these photographers across the world. That doesn't mean I know that many people across the world. It just means that, you know, our community like has a really cool opportunity to like just be lifting each other up. Anyway,
I always find it interesting. People always assume that it's far more competitive than it is. Whenever I tell clients like, oh yeah, like my photographer friends, like we're all like best friends, we all know each other, it's like such a tight community, they're so shocked to hear that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have an exception here in San Diego, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but like I actually do think it is a little bit more rare to be this, you know, in community with the people that are surrounding us.
Yeah, like you think it's more location specific for us? That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, I can relate to that because it was not that way when I was living in Seattle.
Yeah, see, and I've talked to people who have been like, and you have too, like, that does not exist here.
Right.
How can we foster that and stuff like that? And we'll get into that too, so.
Yeah, I was just about to go on a rant on why that's dumb, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
So wait, okay, now what about you? What does community over competition mean to you?
So I think, when I hear that, I think of life being better with friends, because this job is really lonely. It can be so lonely.
It is lonely.
Like, we're around people all the time at weddings, like overstimulatingly so, you know?
Yeah.
But during the week, it's just us, and you're just alone, which I love about this job because it's like perfect for an outgoing introvert. Like, I put all my outgoing efforts over the weekends, and then I need to like recover from it all week, you know? So, I mean, in so many ways, it's incredible, but it's very lonely, and you're alone a lot. Running a business is lonely, and life is just better with friends. And when I think about community over competition, I also think of how that comes from like an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset. Like, there really is enough work for everyone. And we can even go, like, address the fact that, what was that statistic? That next year there are going to be more weddings than there have been since, like, 1982 or something. What's that number? Something like that. You know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Sounds good.
That sounds good. Yeah. Like, there's going to be an all-time high. There's so much need. And then also, on that train of thought, people have also like lowered their tolerance for working a lot. So like the overwhelming thing I've heard from my friends in the industry is that they're taking less weddings, which means even more opportunity for enough for everyone, you know?
Totally.
So yeah, I just think of abundance. There's enough work to go around. We need each other. The community's better when we are together and we're helping each other and treating each other like coworkers.
And it's actually I think it's even easier for us as photographers to like help each other out, because, you know, like dates go away really quickly, you know, like if I'm not available on a date and someone reaches out for a date I'm already booked, it's so easy for me to like hand it off to someone else.
I know. I don't know why more communities don't foster that. Right. Because there are only so many days a year. Right. People are getting married. Yeah. There's so much for everyone.
I know. It's like such a unique, you know, like industry because of like dates are our value, you know, like that's where we get all our value. So it should be really easy for us, but it's not for some reason. Anyway.
I know.
So I guess that's a good way to like kind of transition to like Cami and I are very lucky to be in the community we are in San Diego. And I think really a lot of that has to do with where we are and the type of people that are here, and the type of people that are attracted to, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah. A San Diego person is a friendly person. A San Diego person
is a very relaxed, friendly person, and they have a very different outlook on life. I feel like, personally,
me too,
than lots of other big cities. Yeah. It's so weird to me that San Diego is a big city, because compared to like all the hustle and bustle in every other big city I've been to, it's just so different.
Well, I've heard it called that it's the smallest big city out there.
Yeah. Someone called it a B city to me.
Oh, a B city.
A B city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of it being everything like it's a small big city.
It is. It totally is. And so we were lucky that when I first started, and also when Cami had like kind of freshly moved down here, there was already a community here that was like awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, I feel like I owe a lot of my early success here to that community.
Same.
Like getting in with that group as it was starting, as I was moving and making friends and being put on referral lists. And before I knew it, I was booking stuff. Like they didn't have to do that. But, you know, from a competition perspective,
no, they didn't
put me right in the mix of their competition. But that's not how it felt. It was incredible. We're so lucky.
We are so lucky. Yeah. Shout out Paige Nelson. I remember when I was first starting, I reached out to a handful of photographers to see if any of them would like, you know, kind of just meet up so I could pick their brain. Cami was one of them, and she met up with me. And then one of the only other people that did say yes was Paige Nelson, who is the one that kind of fostered this community
who also
down
said
here.
Yes to me.
Yeah, exactly. And so like it really is cool that it was just, I mean, starting with Paige and then just this group of people that like,
and that's why we're here right now doing this.
Yeah. We are so lucky.
We really are.
So yeah, I guess our for those of you that, you know, obviously don't know, like our community is kind of like, what is it? How would you describe it? We've done like monthly meetups, haven't done too many of them now.
Pre-COVID, we were meeting up fairly regularly. I mean, the community...
We did a retreat for 3 days.
Oh my God, that's right.
That's kind of how I got really entered into it.
Yeah. Our community is special. It's like, you know, it started as a Facebook group. It's still a Facebook group. So, we're in the Facebook group getting referrals to each other. So that's amazing. Pre-COVID, we were doing like quarterly-ish meetups. One of them was at your place. And then we did a full-on like adult camping trip retreat together.
In the mountains. It was so fun.
It was so fun. Now saying that, we should do that again.
We absolutely should.
We absolutely should. Okay, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to give more practical tips on how to foster this kind of community if someone doesn't have it. But we skipped over a part we wanted to talk about, which is like community over competition. Okay. Competition is important though. And like, how is it good?
Because it challenges you. It makes you want to do better. And I mean, I know myself specifically, like if I do anything, I want to be the best at it. So obviously competition is motivating.
Yes. So naturally competition is good. And there's a way that it can exist within community. Like competition does hold me accountable. Like knowing that there are so many incredible photographers who are doing things really well. It makes me want to be better.
Yeah, no, totally.
Like if I know an inquiry is inquiring with Gabe and myself, which happens a lot, it makes me want to respond faster than I feel like. Yeah. Because I'm like, Gabe's going to respond fast. If I know Gabe, he's going to have him on the phone within 3 hours and be the first one talking to him, you know? And so it's like, if I want to be able to charge more, I need to be doing those things too, to like prove that I'm worth it. And if it was just me, like me being the only good photographer in a whole city, you wouldn't have to do any of those things, you know? You could just coast. And so competition is good, and competition can exist in a really healthy way within a community.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think that even like to go on top of that, like there are so many ways to like create healthy competitive like boundaries with the people that I guess are your friends, and like how you can like even use them and like allow them to use you to just challenge each other to like try new things, to like I guess, bounce ideas off of them. I mean, I've definitely, Cami and I will come across like situations where like we'll have like a weird situation we've never really handled before, and the first person that I really want to talk to about it, like in a business, like from a business perspective, is Cami. And we'll bounce ideas off each other, and sometimes we don't even like end up agreeing, but at least like we're having these conversations that are like really challenging us to do better as business owners and as creatives.
Well, and sometimes those conversations where you don't agree also make you more set in how you feel about something.
Exactly.
And that's just as important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just so great for each other.
We really are. We really are. That's amazing. Cool. Yeah. Competition, community, it's very, 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 very important. And when I was living in Seattle, like the community was pretty brutal and it was really isolating. And it was really hard, which I always thought was silly, because there are only so many days people get married in Seattle, of all places, because the wedding season is so small. So like there really is enough work to go around because you run out of dates so quickly, you know?
Interesting.
So I never really understood why the competition was so fierce. I do think it comes from a little bit more of a scarcity mindset because there are only so, you know, people, you're like, you feel a little more desperate to book the work that you can get because it's not happening year round.
Got it.
I don't know. Either way, it's fucking dumb. And community is so important. Everyone does better when we're on the same page and talking and communicating. And whenever I send like a referral list to a couple that I can't work with, they're always blown away I took the extra time to do that. And I know that all those people are going to be available for their day. And I don't know. It just matters.
Thankful.
So if you're not convinced yet, you really need to foster community in your own local place. And it's never been easier.
It has only benefited me, to be honest,
it's
because
only benefited.
I also like will get referrals from people like consistently that I'm like, I wouldn't have booked this wedding if they didn't inquire with Cami, for example. And then Cami sent them my way. Like it literally brings you work. It's just a form of networking, and like people...
It's a form of networking.
Yeah,
I love that.
People want to be around generous people, and they want to be around the people that they can see are doing the most for them. Like Cami just said that clients will be like floored when she sends a list of referrals. I have gotten work from people so someone has inquired with me and then I'm not available. I send them a bunch of people, and that went so far for them that they will tell their friends about me.
I was literally
even
about
though
to
they
say
didn't
that.
work with me.
I know.
It's crazy.
I was just about to say that I have booked weddings because someone has like come back to me and been like, I know I couldn't work with you, but it just meant so much that you took the extra time to connect me to whoever, and like I referred you to my friend, and like whatever, you know. So even those things go really far, but it's never, you know, with social media and how connected we all are, you really have no excuse to not foster this kind of community. And I know we're really lucky in San Diego that it was already kind of getting created when I moved here and when Gabe was starting. But if you live in a place that this doesn't exist,
and we know you do because we've heard from some of you.
We've heard from a lot of you that you don't have this kind of warm and fuzzy community. Like, where would someone start?
So I would say that the first thing that I would do is just kind of like analyze the community yourself and like look for the things that you think are lacking. And like if the first thing that is lacking is just people, you know, other photographers or whatever community you're in, florists, whatever, if there is nothing at all like bringing you guys together into like the same room where you can just be creatives with each other, like network with each other, get to know each other, then that's like a perfect place to start, is just by making that happen, I guess. Like, so organizing events, people want to be a part of these things. People want to network and they want to meet new people.
Do you think a Facebook group is still the most effective and efficient way to do this? To get people together? The only reason I still have Facebook is because of our community. Yeah. Like if I didn't have that group, I would not be on Facebook.
Well, I can't think of anything else.
I know. What's like another way to like bring people together in that way? Does it exist? Probably.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you are listening,
or if you have a better idea, let us know.
Yeah, please. But I think so is the best place to starting a Facebook group and finding people to be in it.
Yes. And I mean, you know, we all have Instagram and stuff too, so you can even just like put up on your stories like, hey, like local Portland photographers, like, you know, who wants to be a part of this new community I'm starting. We're going to start doing like regular meetups, blah, 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 blah. It's easy to get people involved in that because people want to be involved in that. And then, you know, it'll probably start out a little bit smaller, and then all of them will realize like how cool and important it is. And then they'll tell their friends, and then we'll, you know, more people will be invited in. But yeah, that's the place to start. I mean, I would just like analyze, like, what do you wish you had from other photographers? Like, what do you wish, like, you, I guess, like, yeah, like, do you have someone that like you can call when you have a weird business decision you need to make, or like a weird thing that comes up you're not used to handling? Like,
do you have a Gabe or Cami?
Yeah, do you have a Gabe or Cami in your life? Come on.
Well, you do if you listen to this podcast.
Yeah, you do. Oh my gosh. Yes. And then like, you know, different people like fulfill different needs that we all have as business owners and as people. So like, you know, it's just, we need the people that are planners. We need the people that like to organize stuff like that.
Yep.
We need the empathetic people. We need the logical people. We all learn so much from each other. Yeah.
What do you think the boundaries are of like keeping a group like this open to whoever wants to be a part of it, or intentionally keeping it small? Because like you don't want it to feel cliquey, but you also don't want it to be so overwhelmingly huge that it's not personal. So like, what do you do about that?
I would say just like make a list of basic requirements. Like our group, for example, like you do have to like post every so often. You do have to like not just say you're available for inquiries. You have to like respond when people want advice. You have to, you know, and there are like a few people who are like moderators that are kind of like checking up on that for the most part. And obviously I think don't like be a perfectionist about any of this because you know, this isn't your full-time job, is like running a group, but, you know, be as aware as you can. Are you yawning or laughing?
Yeah, I yawned. Yeah.
You were laughing.
No, I was trying to yawn behind my microphone guard.
It didn't work.
Sleepy.
So yeah, that's what I would say.
Don't worry, what you were saying wasn't boring. That's
I mean,
not why
it could be.
No,
That's
it
fine.
wasn't. I'm so tired. I moved last week. I'm exhausted.
I know.
I'm so tired. I'm O-A-K. I am O-A-K.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say. What, do you have anything to add to that?
I think I really like the idea of keeping it open for whoever wants to be involved. Too. And I know I've had seasons of life where oh my God, I'm about to yawn again. Oh no. Oh, you guys.
Welcome to Don't Take This Personally with Gabe and I'm just filling in the like, you know, silence.
Yes, I'm doing great.
You are. You're doing great.
Thank you. I'm doing great. Okay, so I like the idea of keeping it open to whoever wants to be involved. I think that's really important. I think something that I struggled with a lot in Seattle is how cliquey the community felt. Like there were little pockets of community, but it was cliquey and it felt bad. Something that was fun though in the Seattle community is there was a yearly Christmas party.
Ooh. Yeah, we should have that.
That was like the extent of the community. It was like the yearly Christmas party.
Oh.
And they would like rent out a venue.
Wow.
And it was like a part like that had DJs and there would be like a cover.
Nice.
We should do that.
We should. And did you pay?
Yeah.
To go? Like a small fee?
I think it was like a cover. Like
okay.
if you were going to a club or
that's what
something.
you're saying.
Yeah, like
okay,
a cover charge.
Wow.
Yeah, Gabe obviously doesn't go to clubs a lot because he doesn't know what I
really
meant by
don't.
a cover.
I don't.
But how fun would that be? Like I remember how fun it was to just like go and like get drunk with all the other photographers in the basement of a club.
Fun.
And you have a place for it. Your studio.
Oh, that's right.
We could keep costs low. Anyways, this episode has just become a party planning time.
Party planning committee.
Party planning committee we're starting at.
The PPC.
But no, just this community is so important and like we really need each other and find what you need and what you wish you had and just create it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
like what support would be helpful to you.
Yeah.
And if you start that type of support group or whatever, you know, like it's only going to get better. And like the things that have come out of our community, for example, like people will bring up different talks that like or discussions that some of us don't even think about. Like someone had like a whole meetup we did where they talked about taxes. Someone talked about albums, like all these things that I'm just like, I am not interested in talking about either of those things, but I'm so glad that someone else was really interested in it because it's value that like I need that I'm just not really passionate about figuring out for myself. Yeah. So there's just so much that can come from it that you don't even understand. Yeah. That you don't even know you will gain.
I really wish more geographic areas. I was going to say more communities, fostered community, but that's redundant. More, like I just wish more areas did this more. And what I'm hearing overwhelming is that they don't. Yeah.
Yeah. You brought up a phrase, the abundance mindset, like an abundance mindset, which I just think is a really great phrase to kind of like keep in mind is that, you know, there's so many people. I think I said this in one of the last episodes. There's 7 billion people on Earth. You know, like everyone has needs. Everyone has like demands that they're trying to fill in their life. Everyone gets married, you know, for the most part, and like
sometimes more than times.
Sometimes more than once. And so like it's something that there's always going to be an abundance of, and like Cami said, like there's going to be more weddings than ever next year. So like how like dare you like think that, you know, you should be the only one that fills up your calendar.
I know. And I know we're spoiled in Southern California.
We are.
But every photographer I know is like drowning in work right now. Like abundance.
I know.
Abundance.
It is
like
true.
It doesn't have to be competitive.
No, it doesn't. And like I said too, like once you start giving to others, the giving always comes back.
Oh, I'm fucking all about this.
Yeah.
Like operating from an abundance mindset and not a scarcity mindset, and like believing there's enough work to go around and believing there's enough for you and also for your friends and for everyone, because there is.
And it pays you back.
What that does like energetically to your world is incredible.
Yep. And people just love you even more.
I know. I could get a little woo-woo about that for a second, but like you start...
What did you say?
Woo-woo? Like I was gonna get a little woo-woo. Have you never heard that? Woo-woo like is like a little like witchy or hippie or woo-woo. Get a little woo. I might get a little woo-woo about this.
Let's hear
but
it.
like I just believe in the energy of like operating from that kind of mindset. So
like manifestation type mindset too.
Yeah. And
totally.
just like if you're operating from a scarcity based mindset and you don't believe there's enough work to go around, that is the reality you will create for yourself.
Exactly.
And life is better with friends.
Exactly. Life is so much better with friends. Oh my gosh. And you can like, you know, talk shit about your industry too. With each other.
There's no one else that you can do that to, and they understand.
Yes.
Our jobs are sick, but we have to vent.
Yes.
And no one else will understand.
Job.
Your boyfriend won't understand. Nope. Your partner won't understand because no one knows what it's like to do this kind of job unless you've done it. There have been times when Gabe and I are just like, we love this so much, but can we just have a moment where we talk about how ridiculous all of this is? And no one else would ever understand that. Yes. So anyways, I think we've made a solid case for why you should operate from an abundance mindset and
foster community
over competition in a real way, not in the fucking buzzwordy way.
No, not in the buzzwordy way.
In a real way.
Not in the comment, I'll comment on your photo if you comment on mine.
Right.
Way. Like in an actual way where you're like, I know I've built a relationship with this other photographer. I know that I could send business their way and that they would do a fabulous job and make these people so happy.
Yeah.
Like I truly believe in them.
Ooh, and the energy of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've said it in past episodes too, like the benefits in my business just from spending like intentional weekly time with you.
Yes.
Like who you surround yourself with. Like, oh my God, I love the phrase that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And you learn
Michelle says that all the time.
How real that is.
Yeah.
And like adding you into like my weekly average, like really
I'm in the top 5 people.
You really are. I mean, I can count on one hand like who I see regularly.
Yeah.
And you are one of those people now. And I mean, we were always friends, but because of the podcast, we literally see each other so regularly, intentionally.
And it is beneficial.
The impacts in my life and business since then have been really huge.
Same.
And it just matters. So do you think we gave enough practical advice for like how someone can start this community if it doesn't exist in their area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Just don't be afraid to ask for people to hang out because they want to.
You know, they do. Yeah, you'll create something that people will become jealous of, honestly. And like people want to be a part of this type of stuff.
And don't be
so
cliquey.
Bad.
Let other people in.
Yeah,
so like start it. Let it start small. Let people in. I think it's a good tactic to just like pick dates that work for you and then just do it like every month and just whoever can come will come.
Yeah.
Like don't try too hard to make it work for a bunch of people because it won't, especially like we're running businesses, we're busy. I think starting with the Facebook group that find them on Instagram, add them in the group, start a little conversation and community, start like monthly or quarterly or whatever meetups and just like throw a date and don't stress out about it working for everyone because it's not going to. Just like put it on the calendar, whoever will go can go. And I think that's like the best starting place.
Totally.
Any industry should have this.
Every industry should have this. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it should be easiest for us as photographers,
It
honestly.
really should.
It really should.
Yeah.
So yeah.
God, could you imagine if we didn't have this community like during COVID?
Yeah.
Like all these questions we had to, I mean,
oh my gosh, you're right.
We weren't meeting up
I wasn't even
anymore,
thinking about that.
But like going through something that shook our businesses. It was so traumatic.
And none of us knew what to do.
What would we have done without each other?
Seriously. It was a disaster.
It
could have been even worse.
Yeah,
but like, it was so much better than it could have been.
We needed each other to call each other up and be like, what would you do about this situation? How would you handle this? We just like really need each other.
We do. We do. And you need each other.
And you need each other. So go start that community if it doesn't exist already. And don't be cliquey and don't be bitchy.
Don't be cliquey and don't be bitchy.
Don't be cliquey and don't be bitchy.
I think that's going to be the title of this episode.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Don't be cliquey and don't be bitchy.
Love it.
Okay, any last words?
No. See you next time.
Okay, bye.